The Pittsburgh Penguins got slaughtered tonight at Amalie Arena. Sidney Crosby came in with a chance to make history, and instead, the Penguins looked historically bad, especially Tristan Jarry, who didn't even make it 15 minutes into the game before he was pulled. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how this was possibly predetermined based on things that happened at practice this morning for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and just what is wrong with this team right now? Guys, that was one of those games that I wish I wasn't at. And I had the privilege of going to see my Pittsburgh Penguins play in Tampa Bay. And yeah, not much of a privilege, I might say. That was one of those games that you wish you didn't pay the price of admission to go see, because it was an absolute disaster. And the team looked like they didn't even want to be there. And like I said, there is a tweet that will back that up later in this episode of Penguins Digest. We have a lot to break down. But first, go ahead and hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel, Penguins Digest. We got the latest Pittsburgh Penguins news, rumors, updates, and analysis. And there's not much to analyze tonight other than some bad play, especially from our goaltender, Tristan Jarry. Let's pop up the box score here while I go on a little bit of a rant talking about how bad this team looked at Amalie Arena tonight. Tristan Jarry got pulled about 15 minutes into the game. He allowed 4 goals on 7 shots. And oh my, at least 2 of those goals should have never gone in. But Tristan Jarry's 5-hole, you could fit a beach ball through that 5-hole some nights, and this was one of those games. And then there was another opportunity that actually went off the skate of a defender, which that's how you know it's not your night. But the other goal, Tristan Jarry was out of position. He's sprawling, trying to make a save, can't corral a rebound. And if you guys see the picture in front of you when you clicked on this video on the thumbnail, Tristan Jarry kind of just sprawling back to make a save, flopping like a fish. That's how he looked most of the game, and that's why he didn't make it 15 minutes in before Alex Nedeljkovic had to come in. Ned was sharp as nails for most of the game. The first shot they beat Ned was a shot that would have beat any goaltender, no matter what level they play at. And then the next few, the Penguins gave up. I mean, that team showed up today not knowing that they were going to get absolutely annihilated, but I think they did know deep down that they were going to get annihilated. And here's why. Because this was something that came up at practice this morning during the morning skate. Mike Sullivan snapped on the Penguins, dropping a number of F-bombs on them because he wasn't impressed with the energy level that he was witnessing. They didn't have that energy. They didn't have that urgency, the same urgency that you need to play the game of hockey, the fast-paced sport that actually requires a little bit of effort, a little bit of energy, anything at all. I would have taken anything, any lick, any ounce of energy tonight. None of it. Nothing from this team. Thus, I suspect he saw this coming, is what Josh Yohe said in that post. And I think you could see it coming. The boys didn't show up. Mike Sullivan straight up said, hey, guys, you got to get it going. And he used vulgar language. He used cuss words to try to get a little bit out of his team. That's the type of coach Mike Sullivan is. And it makes me think maybe the team was protesting tonight. This is a theory. The team might have been protesting something tonight. Maybe they don't like the way they're being coached. Maybe they're not responding to Sully anymore. I love the way Sully coaches personally. I like that he gets fired up, that he gets amped up, that he shows he cares, that he tries to get the boys worked up. He tries to be a motivator. Doesn't work sometimes. And the team didn't respond, okay? They show up lackadaisically. They showed up lackadaisically against the Florida Panthers. They played one period and then gave up the rest of the game. And some people want to argue with me that they actually played a good game and deserved to win. They didn't deserve to win. And when Mike Sullivan lays into his team because they're being lazy and because they're not trying, because they're not playing hard, because they're not practicing, because they're not putting in work, well, guess what, guys? This is what it looks like when you go out there and you know you're defeated before the game even starts, because that's what happened tonight. Tristan Jarry, again, couldn't stop a beach ball. The rest of the team didn't look like they wanted to be there. Everybody was flat. Karlsson was turning the puck over. Crosby was turning the puck over. Poor Matt Grizzly goes tumbling into the boards in the second period. I thought we were going to bring out a stretcher for him. I didn't know what was wrong. Well, guess what? He came right back in. He was good to go about 5 minutes later. The crazy thing that happened before the game even started, Evgeni Malkin was ruled out of the game, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't play. We were thinking, we're going to get, the full lineup. Most of the guys are healthy. Maybe Tommy Novak won't play. Ryan Shea didn't play, but Evgeni Malkin, a late scratch, he didn't play in this game. No hero was going to save that team tonight. We didn't have Malkin, we didn't have Shea, we didn't have Novak, but we didn't have anybody else either. I mean, this team did not play at all tonight. The only guy that I saw any effort from was Boko Imama. Boko Imama was trying to stir some things up, okay? He took exception to something that happened. He was throwing a little slash out there. He had a couple slashing penalties, actually with a double Meyer slash because he got a couple wicks in, and then he actually was throwing punches. He was trying to fight. That's what he was trying to. He was trying to stir things up. He was trying to inject some life into his team because we're down 6-0 at that point, ladies and gentlemen. And when I left that game, it was 6-0. They scored one goal within the last few minutes. It was Brian Rust, assisted by Sidney Crosby, of course, getting 1 point away from history. If he would have made history tonight and I wouldn't have been there, I would have been very mad because I did leave. I was very upset. I was boiling in the stands. I was screaming when Tristan Jarry got taken out of the game because I was like, thank God. Thank God that guy got taken out of the game because he was terrible tonight. It was one of those games. You needed to do something early, and when they made that move, they went to Ned. Ned looked okay, but it wasn't going to help the team win the game. We knew when that game started, the Penguins players, because of that tweet, because of what Josh Yowie said, I think that has something to do with it, they were not playing. There was no effort. There was no urgency. There was no energy in the morning skate to the point where Mike Sullivan had to lay into the boys. And that's why I'm saying that maybe this theory that the Penguins just didn't want to respond to Mike Sullivan. Maybe they're saying, okay, this is not the type of leadership that we want to have. This is not the type of the coaching that we would respond to, the type of coaching that we prefer. Maybe they're just saying, hey, we're sick of this. It doesn't work. We're tired of this. Something. Because that effort tonight was pitiful. It was embarrassing. It was disgusting. Okay. The Penguins fans around me and at the game, I mean, we're just sitting there like almost in tears. I mean, we couldn't believe what we were watching. People pay money to go see these games, ladies and gentlemen. People pay good, hard-earned money to go watch a hockey game. They expect to be entertained, and for the team to not even show up, it's embarrassing. That's the only word I can think of. Embarrassing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They got outclassed, outplayed, out everything, everything about that game. They got beat from the puck drop. They got destroyed. So we got bad news about Jarry. Tonight, that was Jarry. That is the Jarry that we got used to earlier this season and the Jarry that unfortunately still exists on this team. His trade value, if there ever was any, is completely thrown out the window after tonight. I don't know any team that would watch that game tonight and say, okay, this guy is a franchise goalie, or this guy is even an NHL goalie. Tristan Jarry's not it, guys. We knew that. We were hoping he would play well the rest of the year just so we could get him off our team. He went unclaimed and on waivers earlier this season. Nobody wanted him for free. Nobody looked good, though. We got turnovers from Sidney Crosby. The first goal was because Sidney Crosby turned the puck over. Okay, Karlsson turned it over, and then the Lightning are swarming. They're all over us, and then Sidney Crosby can't even get out of the blue line, and the Lightning have it again. And then in that same sequence, they put the puck in the back of the net. That's how I know, it's not our night, because Sid is turning the puck over. Sid doesn't look good tonight. Nobody on that team looked good tonight. Not one player could I say did anything right other than Boko Imama, and the sad part is the part that he did right was a 4-minute penalty, 2 slashes, and a misconduct, a 10-minute misconduct just because he wanted to fight somebody, just because he wanted to amp somebody up. He wanted to give us some energy, some life, because there was none, because the team was dead, the team was flat-footed, the team looked like garbage. I mean, guys, embarrassing performance. A new low even for this Penguins team. Even for one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League, this is a new low. This is a new low even for us. There is no reason you should go out there and get outplayed that bad. No, in an NHL game, we go to see a close game. Sometimes there aren't close games. Sometimes there are blowouts. Not one positive. I got nothing. Not one positive. A pathetic, miserable, disgusting excuse for a hockey game. And if it's because the players were being petty, because they didn't like the coaching style of Mike Sullivan, giving them a talking to, laying into them a little bit because they deserved it, because they were doing you-know-what on the ice and slugging it around and not giving it full effort at practice like you're supposed to. I had coaches laying to me. I know what that's like. You respond. You get a little bit of fire under you. You're supposed to light a fire under your players as a coach. You're supposed to say, hey, guys, let's step it up. Let's get it going. Let's amp these guys up. Let's motivate them. And let's say, hey, this is not acceptable behavior. You are a professional hockey player. And the team didn't respond to it. They did not give Sully the energy that he gave them. They didn't reciprocate it. So whether it's a protest by the players, whether it's them saying, hey, we don't want to play for Sully, hey, we don't like Sully's coaching style, hey, we don't respect this, or something else, I have no idea, guys. All I can tell you is being there, it was disgusting. It was miserable. It was pathetic. Those are the 3 words I got for you guys. I didn't think I would ever see that kind of effort on my team. On TV, you can turn it off, but when you pay money to go to a hockey game, you expect to see a good game, and that was embarrassing. It really was. Mike Sullivan, At least he tried. At least he lit a little bit. He lit a little bit of a fire under them. It didn't stick, though. It was one of those faulty matches, or maybe a lighter that ran out of gas. But Mike Sullivan gave it a little bit of effort. And I didn't like the response that he had after last game and how he thought that the team deserved to win. They didn't. But tonight, they didn't even show up. So something's off. Team dynamic is really bad at this point in the season. Right now, we should have it a little bit figured out. Timmins. Now, Timmins is a guy. I think we would keep him. That may be one positive. Connor Timmins is the man, okay? I actually really like Timmy. But not much else. Not much else, ladies and gentlemen. It was rough. It was rough. It's tough one to sit through. I was ready to make a video after the game. As soon as the game was over, I was ready to hop on a video, and then I had to drive home. So I didn't get to hop on a video right away. It might have been a little more energy if I would have hopped on a video right away. I was pretty upset, pretty angry, but that anger just turned into sadness and depression, and that's the problem. I heard a fan, and I want to shout this fan out. I heard a fan as we were leaving the building, as we were leaving Amalie Arena, walking down the steps. He said, watched the Penguins for a long time. Been a Penguins fan for a really long time. I'm going to stay a fan. I'm going to be a fan for a lot longer here, too. From now to and moving forward, I'm still going to be a fan. I don't know if they'll ever see a good team again. I don't know if we'll ever be good again. And a night like this, it makes you doubt it. It really does. Guys, we got to stay the course. This happens. Blowouts happen. We have to trust the process. This does happen in hockey. It is a sport where we see blowouts. But that one right there, that was... That, to me, was more than a blowout because of what apparently happened at practice this morning. And that's really what this video was about. This video was about what I saw and what was seen at practice this morning. And Mike Sullivan's response to what he saw at practice this morning and the players' response in the game tonight. Wasn't good enough. Wasn't what we needed to see, and there's a lot of red flags from that performance. And a lot of things for this team to address, a lot of things for Mike Sullivan and the players to address. I'm recording this a little bit too soon after the game where I don't have any quotes yet, but when we have a little bit of a response from players, coaches, some quotes to throw in there, what really happened, we'll make another video, I promise. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it in the next few days leading up to the Penguins' next game, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. If you did watch this video, thank you. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Penguins Digest, we're coming at you with the latest. Sometimes some inside information. Sometimes just a fan going to a game, trying to enjoy a hockey game and watch his boys. And here I was thinking I was going to see Sid make history, and instead, one of the worst games I've ever been at. In my time being a fan of this team, I've been to a lot of hockey games. That was one of the worst efforts I've seen. So that tells you a lot. That was up there among the worst. If it wasn't the worst, it's up there. So pathetic, embarrassing, disgusting. I'll say those words 10 more times before I go to bed tonight, but thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll be back with more Pittsburgh Penguins content here on Penguins Digest.